process of replacing ignition switch. We're in the process of replacing the ignition switch in the 87 Fiero GT. Now, the old ignition, which is here, you could literally take the key out with it running. Sometimes the ignition didn't want to unlock, so I got a replacement, brand new. I don't know where the box ran off to. Hopefully I'll find it here in a second. GM ignition switch to replace the worn out original one. Now, while I'm in here, there's a couple of things I want to point out. If you have a Fiero and you're watching this, obviously, anytime you put the key in, you'll hear a ding. Well, there's a way to fix that permanently, and that's this thing right here. This, I'm not going to put the spring in position, but this goes here, like so. And it's just held in with a spring, which is this piece here. If you remove this, no more ding when you put the key in. I don't like a warning buzzer. I'm smart enough to know if I have my keys in the ignition, so we're not going to put this back in. Weight reduction, right? All right, another thing you want to look out for on your Fiero, and this is for my new to Fiero because you want to do K-swap, is if you get in your car and your steering wheel can rock back and forth, even though it's not doing it through the tilt. It's a very common problem on Fieros. It's a bit of a process to get it done, to repair the problem, but one of the only real specialty tool you'll need is a GM lock plate removal tool. And this is basically you're depressing the lock plate down because there's a little C-clip that rides right here in this groove. And that's the only way to get that C-clip out, is if you can depress the lock ring or the lock plate. So anyway, these are your bolts. This one, and this one. These back out, and you can't get to them really without removing the turn signal assembly. Take these out, Loctite them, snug them back down. I usually put mine down about 14 foot-pounds torque with Loctite, and then it should never be a problem again. So I just want to give you guys a quick tip on this whole process. I know some people seem to think that nothing ever gets done on this car. Well, the harsh truth is this car has a lot of issues. It was picked apart for some stupid kit car build, so I'm having to fix, repair, replace a lot of stuff. This is one of them. This, of course, the ignition lock being worn out is just from age. So we're going to button this back up, and we did find out that the brake booster up front there, where it attaches to the Willwood master cylinder, is missing a plug, and I'll insert a picture here that shows you, and it retains the rod. So we're having a big vacuum leak there. Luckily, I kind of figured it out what was going on, because if that rod would have fell, there would have been absolutely no mechanical link between the brake pedal and the master cylinder, which could be really bad. So let me get this button back up while I still kind of sort of remember how to put it all back together, and hopefully, well, it won't be hopefully, the next part of this video you'll see me replacing the brake booster. We just went on ahead and ordered a brand new AC Delco one, and then once we get that replaced, we going for a drive. Yeah, you heard me, we going for a drive. All right, everybody, welcome back to the K-Swap. We got a lot done yesterday, So let me show you that real quick before the real fun begins. Alright, as you can see, the blur is up on jack stands. So let's see what we did. We had to install a new brake booster. We had a vacuum leak right between the booster and the master cylinder. And it turns out, if I can, I'll put a picture in here of a rubber bushing or seal that was missing out of our booster, which seems odd. So right now I just want to check, make sure none of the fittings are wet, because I did just put all this back together. Everything's dry, that's good. Fluids topped off. All this is done under here. Actually, we can go ahead and shut. Oh, I don't think did I unplug that one? I might have. Let's go ahead and put that down. We're having an issue with the headlights. That one over there doesn't want to work. I hope it's not the relay inside the inner fender, because that's expensive. Alright. So we'll go ahead and shut this. I wonder why we're going through the trouble of shutting all that up. Alright, so that's all set up. Brakes work fantastic. I was finally able to connect my IQ3 dash to my laptop. Got that reconfigured. Got the ignition lock replaced. Haven't done a whole lot in here. It's still pretty loose. I'm still kind of finalizing the wire. That doesn't really matter, because what we need to do is give it a test drive. If everything works okay, the whole drivetrain's going to come out anyway to get it all cleaned up nice. Now here's one of the things I found out. Down below is the reverse switch. What I had to do was run 12 volts switched coming in, and then the output, which is the green wire with the white stripe, went over to the C500 where the factory backup or the reverse lights used to connect. So I got all that done. I still haven't made a PCV hose to go over to the cold air intake. That's one of the things I'll do when I take it all apart. But as it stands, she's ready to roll. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the wheels back on, kind of button everything up to where I can feel that it's safe, and we're going to go for a ride. So let me stop yapping, get these wheels on, get the lug nuts torqued down, and get everything ranged, all right? Because we about to go for the first test drive. All right, hold on to your butts. All right, we are back in the Fiero. And just had it out of the garage, backed it out, pulled it back in under its own power. She had another little surprise source, and I'm gonna show you what that is here. I was able to reconfigure the dash, which is nice. But yeah, here we go. I don't think, now that I hear it, I don't think it's from the engine. I think it's from the train. If you can wiggle the throwout or the clutch fork there, I think that clutch overextended.
That's good.